People often think, oh, democracy, rule of law, independent judiciary, freedom of the press, that's all abstract stuff because it doesn't affect the price of eggs. Well, you know what? It's about to affect the price of eggs. It's up to all of us to fix this. It's not going to happen because someone comes and saves you. The most important office in this democracy is the citizen. Barack Obama just did what everyone in the group chat has been wanting to do. He called out Donald Trump, and not quietly, but with a verbal mic drop from space. One moment Trump is playing golf in denial, and the next he's being publicly criticized by a former president who speaks clearly and has a functioning sense of morality. Trump's spray tan probably didn't hold up well under the shock, get ready, because Obama didn't come to play, he delivered a sharp critique. Obama also pointed out the silence from Republicans about the economic instability in the U.S. and President Trump's attacks on those he sees as enemies. What do you make of what we heard from the former president and vice president? Well, President Obama is probably the most popular politician out there. I saw a Gallup poll earlier this year that had him at 59%. Donald Trump has never reached 59% in his life. Of course, it's easier to be an ex-president. But I think one of Obama's great strengths in politics is timing. Before we move on, like and subscribe because you don't want to miss this one. So Barack Obama just offered his characteristically diplomatic opinion on President Trump, and as usual, it was memorable. And by memorable, I mean he effortlessly brought Trump down a notch while also reminding us how things might have been different if Trump hadn't been elected. What exactly did Obama do? He casually criticized Trump's behavior as if it were a light workout. You could almost hear Obama's calm demeanor as he delivered some well-timed remarks about the former president, people being handcuffed and sent to prisons in places like El Salvador without any due process. I'm glad Obama is speaking out. And so is Joe Rogan. So if Trump is losing Barack Obama and Joe Rogan, a very popular podcaster who hosted Trump, that says something. Americans don't like a lack of due process, and they definitely don't like grocery prices rising the way they are. Let's set the scene. Trump, as usual, was being unpredictable and unfiltered, arguing about the election, mishandling the pandemic, and generally acting like a reality TV star who ended up in the Oval Office. Meanwhile, Obama, who served 8 years without major scandals or daily embarrassment, decided it was time to speak up. And he did. It wasn't just a casual disagreement. Obama laid it all out, calmly refuting Trump's behavior like a chess player, knocking down every move with quiet confidence, maybe even while sipping iced coffee with a smirk. Did you see Barack Obama last night? He made some subtle remarks, taking shots at Trump. They always say, stick to policy, don't make it personal, but then they spend the night making it personal themselves. These people do that, but I'm still supposed to stick to policy? I don't know what my advisors are saying now. Obama, being who he is, didn't go straight into insults. That's not his style. Instead, he called out Trump with grace, like saying, let me explain what's wrong here in the most composed way possible. It's like when a parent sits you down and calmly tells you your decisions aren't great, so calmly that you almost wish they'd just yelled instead. Obama's approach isn't to come out swinging. He makes one smart comment and watches the reaction, like someone quietly observing a train wreck. To stay competitive, we need to make smart decisions now. Cutting education budgets? That's not a smart choice. That won't help us compete with China. Cutting research and technology investment? Also not smart. It won't help us compete. And increasing the deficit by adding $7 trillion in tax cuts and military spending, which the military didn't ask for, won't help either. Before we even get to the current debt, that's not going to make us more composed. Trump can't handle it. He needs drama, noise, and chaos, preferably in all caps. So, when Obama walks in with his rolled-up sleeves and well-timed pauses, delivering a calm, pointed critique wrapped in intellect and a hint of condescension, it really gets to Trump. You can almost hear the screeching in his mind as he scrambles for a comeback that isn't just childish insults or rambling statements filled with capital letters and random punctuation. Visually, he's changed. I say visually instead of looks, because we like to say appearances don't matter in politics anymore, we want to be politically correct. But they do matter. His look has actually changed a lot. I haven't seen him in a long time. And by the way, Rob, I think it's been more than 4 years. Well, the statement he made was just a few days ago, yeah, just recently. And it's similar to what he said back in 2012 when he told business owners, "You didn't build that." Do you remember that comment? I think this is the speech, Rob, if you want to play it, you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else, the contrast is almost poetic. Obama calmly shares facts like a college professor, while Trump acts like someone whose favorite fast food order was cancelled. Obama doesn't need to shout. One sentence from him carries more weight than all of Trump's rally speeches combined. And the worst part for Trump? People actually listen when Obama talks. He doesn't need applause or conspiracy theories to get attention. He just speaks, and suddenly Trump's entire narrative starts to fall apart like a bad wig in strong wind. What really stands out is that Obama's calm critiques hit harder than any direct insult. When he calls out the lies, hypocrisy, and reckless behavior, it doesn't come off as spiteful, it feels like a public service message. Polished, informed, and powerful. Trump wants a messy fight, but Obama brings clarity, like shining a light on what's really going on, making it obvious who's out of their depth. Has Donald Trump ever called you for advice or to talk at all? First of all, you're giving some good advice already if you have. But has he reached out? I would call you if I were him. No, he hasn't. Every time Obama speaks about Trump, you can sense Trump's team scrambling for damage control. Deep down, they know every time Obama speaks, Trump loses a bit more of the illusion he holds on to. And the rest of us? We grab popcorn and enjoy the masterclass in calm critique. This wasn't just a one-off comment. Obama seems tired of the constant chaos, from rejecting science to misleading the public. He took to social media, as politicians often do, and posted a tweet that was clear and sharp, a masterclass in subtle criticism. He didn't get into a long debate or give a huge speech. It wasn't a 30-minute address on why he disagreed. Obama made one short, direct statement about Trump's performance, and that was enough. It was simple, but effective. And it made Trump's reaction look even worse. This is about something more important, who we are as a country and what values we represent. This isn't just abstract, it's one of the core challenges we face. Can we pause to recognize how Trump can't take criticism without going into full-on "I'm the greatest ever" mode? As soon as Obama tweeted, you could imagine Trump rushing to respond. And of course, it was a response that didn't address Obama's point at all. Trump didn't seem to grasp that he was being called out. Instead of responding with substance, he probably fired off another scattered tweet about the greatest economy ever being at risk. It's classic Trump. When someone highlights a flaw, he throws out an unrelated claim no one asked for. But back to the main point, Obama's tweet was a refined way of saying, "You are a disaster." It was one of those moments where you wonder, did he just insult you without you realizing it? That's the kind of tone the tweet had. While Trump fired off confusing rebuttals, Obama stayed calm, composed, and continued doing what he does best, being the steady adult in the room while others acted out like a frustrated child. President Barack Obama is sharply criticizing President Trump's economic policies and calling the Trump administration's actions targeting political opponents unimaginable. President Obama also delivered a message to fellow Democrats. He said, and this is a quote, "We're in one of those moments when you know," followed by a reference to the ongoing documents controversy. Trump said, "I took the documents, I'm allowed to." You know who else took them? Obama took them. Nixon took them. Obama took them. Then corrected, "Oh, he didn't." The difference here that I'd like, and continued, referencing the archives. President Obama, even Jimmy Carter, even Mike Pence had some documents, and he's a very honorable guy you referenced. But let's not forget the real highlight, how Obama, with the simplest of tools, a tweet, managed to expose major issues in Trump's leadership effortlessly. Obama's approach isn't about being the loudest or engaging in extreme social media outbursts. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation to make his point. Instead, Obama delivers messages so sharp that they're initially underestimated, until people reflect and realize how pointed and accurate they were. While Trump complained about unfair treatment, Obama's tweet kept the internet active for hours, showing that a well-timed comment can have a lasting impact without needing a long rant. Obama's strength lies in being calm, measured, and composed. When the moment passes, it's the thoughtful observers, the ones with critical thinking skills, who find themselves in agreement with Obama. Meanwhile, Trump's supporters are left trying to make sense of his latest confusing social media posts. Obama noted that it's not enough to claim to support something, you may have to act and perhaps make sacrifices. That's what people forget when talking about protests or referring to past movements like those in the 1960s. People did make sacrifices. Breaking down Obama's recent tweet about Trump, it was a subtle yet effective move. Obama doesn't need to yell or escalate conflict. His approach is more calculated, pointing out clear flaws in leadership without even directly addressing the situation. One concise tweet, crafted like a careful argument, was enough. He's experienced and now watches events unfold from a distance. Obama could have gone back and forth with Trump for hours, but instead, he posted a few sentences and let the impact settle. Trump, in turn, was left flustered. What sets the U.S. apart historically is the belief in a society based on rules, where supporting a candidate doesn't lead to harassment or threats. The best part about Obama's tweet was that it wasn't hostile. It wasn't an aggressive attack, it was more like a polite, "That's cute, Donald. Keep doing your thing," delivered in the most composed and articulate way. Trump didn't know how to react, but this isn't just about one tweet or one moment, it reflects a larger pattern: Trump's consistent unwillingness to accept responsibility. It's like watching someone crash their car repeatedly and blame everyone else for it. When Obama speaks out, it reminds people that Trump's challenges often come from his own decisions, lack of openness to advice, and refusal to consider he might be doing things poorly. The key issue, accountability, seems foreign to Trump. When problems arise, he always points fingers instead of taking responsibility. These are the kinds of choices Americans face now: a tax code that rewards companies sending jobs overseas, rather than supporting those investing in the U.S., a policy that won't improve competitiveness. What's clear, Obama said, is that after a decade of job loss and lack of support for American workers and businesses, there's been real progress. What can't happen is a return to the same policies that caused the issues in the first place. Now, this is where things got more intense. Trump, always the showman, responded the way he usually does when cornered, by trying to deflect rather than address the substance.